Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing a plan with me for November. So feel free to grab your diary, feel free to grab whatever you use to plan, and let's go ahead and get started.
And trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm wrong. I got it.
So for this plan with me, I am going to be trying to insert a few different clips of my plan with me sheet and like my digital thing, but I'm going to sit here and film the actual like talking part of it and then overlay it. I have not done one of these plan with me's for a good, I would say about 6 months, and I've definitely fallen off the bandwagon when it comes to setting goals, achieving goals, and actually sticking to the goals I actually want to achieve. So I thought, with the end of the current year like fast approaching, we're currently in November 2024, and I cannot believe we're in November 2024. So because we're so close to the end of the year, I feel like I really need to set myself up for success for 2025 and beyond. So let's go ahead and talk about what goals I want to achieve. Feel free to take any of these goals if you are in the social media space or you need to also improve your finances, because that's mainly what my goals are set around. My first goal is going to be to post 2 long form YouTube videos here on this channel. So my goal for that was usually going to be a Monday and a Friday, and I'm still going to try and aim for that, but I have changed my banner to say twice a week because I found myself sometimes not having something ready for Monday, and then because I had promised a Monday, I was like, oh, it's better for me to miss an upload than it is for me to like just post it a day late, and I felt like it was wrong for me to not post it on a Monday because I'd promised a Monday. So hence why the banner has changed. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed, but I did change the banner to say twice weekly rather than Mondays and Fridays, although the schedule is the same and I will be trying to aim for Mondays and Fridays, but you may just get a video that might be like on a Saturday rather than a Friday or something like that, because I'm just going to be trying to focus on posting twice a week. Going along with that, I want to post at least 2 YouTube shorts every single week, and that is probably going to be things that I filmed on TikTok or filmed on Instagram or filmed just for YouTube. So I want to try and post at least 2 of those every single week. If I get more, then even better. But YouTube shorts, I don't know whether anyone here is watching and on social media and trying to like make that their full-time job like myself, but I am really trying to make this something that I can live off of, and it's my career, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, sort of thing. So YouTube Shorts is a really, really good way to get your face in front of other people. Like, long form content is great for people who already know you and are already like subscribed and they love watching you for you. But to get in front of new people, YouTube Shorts is apparently the best way to do it. I personally don't watch a lot of YouTube Shorts unless I find myself doom scrolling. Like, I accidentally click on YouTube thinking it's TikTok and then like start scrolling. But I'm going to post or try to post at least 2 YouTube Shorts every week. The next goal that I'm going to be trying to achieve is to finish planning Vlogmas. So yes, I'm going to be doing Vlogmas this year. Last year I managed to do 12 days of Vlogmas, and this year I really, really want to try and do 24 days, if not 25 days of Vlogmas, which will mean that I'll have a video from December 1st all the way up to December 24th or 25th every single day. And I'm going to really try for that. There is some videos that are going to be sit down videos like this that will be talking about like gift guides and opening advent calendars and all that sort of stuff. So there's going to be content where I will be sitting down, and the stuff like that I can actually pre-film and I can actually sort and have it ready for you guys like way in advance, which does actually roll on to my next goal, which is to film at least 5 of those types of videos in November, so that I am ahead of time and I've got the content filmed. So to have probably at least like 1 bulk filming day where I can actually film, because I'm filming this at the beginning of November, but I actually do have content that goes right the way back to like August that I still haven't posted. So if you see like different outfits and you see different like the way I look or whatever, you see it's a bit different, then that's because some of the content that I filmed and was ready to kind of go up in September or whatever, I didn't end up editing, and so because of that, like some of it is just behind schedule. But I do have some content. I have some really cool hauls and I have some like other bits and pieces that are all ready for you to go. I just need to edit them. So there's going to be lots of things coming. The last goal is to do with social media, and is also a goal that I can physically try and achieve myself. Like, when I talk about that, I talk about goals that I want to achieve that I can actually put the work in to achieve, and there's some goals I want to achieve which I'll be talking about after this particular goal that are goals that are not necessarily within my control. So this particular goal, which is the last goal of the ones that I can actually physically do something to achieve, is to post at least 5 TikToks on my main channel and 5 TikToks on my Budget with Deeanna TikTok. So 10 TikToks in total, but 5 on each. And that's at least, and that is across the whole of November. So my main channel, I will leave all the things in the description box down below, all my like links and stuff like that. But my main one is at deeannalouise18, and that one is kind of like mental health, self-improvement, like very much like a TikTok version of this YouTube. However, I do have a couple of other TikToks. I have one that's called Budget with Deeanna, and that is for my Etsy shop. Unfortunately, I haven't actually managed to post any videos on that thus far, which is why that is going to be a bit more of a main focus for me going into November. My Budget with Deeanna is linked to an Etsy, which is like something that I really, really want to get into, and I really want to make that another one of my little side hustles. I have actually thus far made 3 sales on my Etsy, and I am actually really, really happy and proud that basically doing nothing, no advertisement. I told my friends, my friend was one of them, and so 2 of those sales were completely just through Etsy, no advertisements, no like extra money put into it, and I made 2 sales like that were complete strangers and that I didn't know, and it was just through them searching on Etsy and finding my particular challenges and thinking they were amazing. I'm currently putting together another like challenge that I'm doing, which is a £2,025 in 2025. It is a booklet full of about 18 different challenges, and they're designed to be used throughout the whole of 2025. I will be using it as well. However, I am going to try and aim to get that £2,025 challenge done by about June or July time, because I'm planning to go away next year. Not entirely sure the exact dates or when or anything like that, but yes, I will be vlogging it and all that sort of stuff, like I did my last trip that I went to America. I will be vlogging wherever I go this time, and also like when I go and stuff like that. It will obviously be delayed, but I will be vlogging it and I will be getting it out for you guys. But I'm planning to do a extended trip away, so I'm hoping that, you know, that can actually happen, and that's why I really want to focus on this £2,025 in 2025, because that will be a lot of like money towards like plane tickets and spending money. So that's kind of the vibe that's going to be. But this challenge that I have created, this little booklet of challenges, is designed to be used throughout the whole of 2025. If saving £2,025 or £2,000 or whatever is your goal, these challenges are smaller challenges, so they're a bit more bite-sized and a bit more easier for you guys to use, and they are just a bit sort of more like a spoon feeding it, like rather than like trying to take huge gulps of like, you know, trying to save lots of money at a time. So they are ideal for people on a lower budget like me. So now I'm going to move into talking about goals that I can't necessarily make happen myself, but goals that I do actually want to achieve. So I would love to be able to make 1,250 subscribers on YouTube, and that is a goal because that's like another 250 towards 2k, so that's a nice round number for me. I would love to be able to make that happen, and I'm currently at 1,220 something, I think, as I'm filming this video. So I'm only about 30 subscribers or 40 subscribers away from this goal. I'm trying to keep these goals that I am not able to influence, so I'm not able to like physically make happen myself. I'm trying to like make these goals a bit more easier to achieve, so that when we go into 2025 and I set my annual goals, I can actually be a bit more like ambitious with how many subscribers I want to get, or how many like followers or whatever. The next goal is TikTok. So on my main TikTok, I'm about 1,800 followers, and I would love to be able to make 2,000 followers by the end of November. And this is something that I still think is able to achieve, even though it's a bit more ambitious, and that is because I'm just over 1,800. And if I continue to post, I think that by the end of November, I can hopefully get the 2,000. So the last goal, which is a Etsy goal again, is to try and create at least 2 more products for my Etsy shop. And that is to create, to make, and to list them. So one of them, as I've already mentioned, is going to be the £2,025 in 2025. This challenge is a really good one for those of you who are on a lower budget, and it is amazing to be able to put away just £5, £10, £2, £1. Like, even some of them are just like really, really small amounts. I think the highest amount is like £20 at a go to be able to colour one of the icons in. So actually it's a really manageable goal. It's not something that you have to put like £100 away each time, or you have to put like 40 quid away each time. Like, it is actually a manageable goal, which then they all add up to make £2,025. Hence why the booklet is quite big, and I will be showing that probably in a TikTok. So go follow my TikTok, my Budget with Deeanna TikTok, and you'll see that booklet and everything that's going on there. So that is it for the goals. I am now going to take you over to my finance spreadsheet and talk about my actual finance and my budgets for this month. And this is probably going to be done with a voiceover because it's easier for me to sit at the spreadsheet. I haven't actually planned what my budgets are going to be for this month, but I am going to be putting some money away and trying to book the flights on Travel Tuesday for where I want to go. And yeah, I'm going to hopefully try and do that. I am also attending a function, like a party that's a family event at the end of November. So I also need to make sure I book my train tickets for that and factor that into my budget as well. That is a lot of things I'll be talking about in the voiceover. So let's go ahead and get into the financial portion of this video. So as I said, I'm going to now move on to the financial portion of this video, and we're going to start off with my bills. So I'm going to gradually remove the little blockers that are blocking the amounts and everything as I talk it through. So the first bill that I have is my electric, and this is due around November 15th. It really does depend on when my landlord sends through my actual electric bill, but I put the middle of the month because that's usually a good guess as to when it's due. So the budget I usually say is about 70, and at the moment I have not paid that, so because we're doing this at the beginning of the month. I will do this again at the end of the month, showing you everything and what I ended up paying and stuff, but it's usually sort of just below 70, so I budget 70. The actual at the moment is obviously 0, and the difference is 70 because I haven't paid anything. The next bill is council tax, which here in the UK we pay council tax monthly, or you can pay it over like a 10-month period or a 12-month period. I pay over a 12-month period, so I pay each and every month. So for this, it's due around November 6th. They want me to pay it on the 1st, but because of the way I get paid, I have said to them, as long as I pay it on the 6th, is that okay? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. As long as you pay it on the 6th, we probably won't send you any letters like asking for money or anything, or if we do, you know you've paid, so it's all good. So this I budget around £85, and I have already paid this month, so I have paid £85 and the difference is 0 because I've paid the full amount. The next bill that I have is my internet, and I go with the company EE, so that's why it says EE Internet. That is due around the 12th, obviously depending on when the actual direct debit goes out. If it's a weekend and stuff, it will go out like just before or just after. But around the 12th is a good guess. My bill monthly until it goes up in April is £29.99, and it hasn't come out yet because this is before the 12th when I'm recording this, so we have a actual of 0 at the moment and a difference of £29.99. Then the next bill is my 3 contract. So I have 2 different contracts on my phone, and that is because my signal is rubbish at home, and so I need 2 different numbers and 2 different service providers in order to be able to receive and make calls and everything. So I am going to be sorting that out, but at the moment I'm locked into a contract with the second one, which I will talk about in a second. So my 3 contract, the 3 being is the actual like company. So if you live in the UK, you'll know there's a company called 3. So that 3 contract is a SIM only contract, and I pay £19. Well, I thought it was £19, and I thought it was due around the November 8th, but actually it ended up being £20.50, which I need to change for next month, so I know to budget like the extra £1.50. So the difference will actually say negative £1.50 because it was £1.50 over the budget. The next one, this is my actual phone contract, so the contribution of a SIM only and my actual phone and what's left to pay of my actual device. This is with O2, and it is due around November 6th. I've already paid this, and it actually was a lot less than I was expecting, and I was a little bit shocked by that. I didn't really know why it was less or anything like that, but the budget is £47.24. This month it ended up being £37.08, which is a difference of £10. I know I did sort out a new SIM only, so I don't know whether now it's kind of sorting itself out and 37 is going to be my actual amount. I'm not entirely sure, so we're going to just play it by ear and see whether it goes down to 37, which I think it might. So that's what that is. The next bill, which I actually don't have anything for at the moment, but this was a loan I was paying back to my dad, so that's why it says dad loan repay. It was due around November 6th because November 6th is the date that I get like one of my biggest pays for the month. So that obviously at the moment is budget 0, actual 0 and different 0 because I don't actually owe him anything at this current point in time. The last bill that I have on this particular sheet is my O2 watch, my Pixel 2. I recently did treat myself to a Pixel 2 watch following my bariatric surgery and knowing that I was going to be doing a lot more steps and all that sort of stuff. So I treated myself to that. I paid £50 up front and then chose an 18-month option to finish finish the amount of money that I owed them. So that then works out at £5.50 a month for 18 months. And that was a nice round number, and I thought it'd be like it's quite a low number really when you think about it. So £5.50, I actually have already paid this £5.50, so the difference is zero. So that's my bills. So now let's move on to my subscriptions. So for my subscriptions, I only have 3 main subscriptions, and this is like the bills, but like I suppose things that I can do without, but I prefer not to. So the first one is Spotify. Assuming most of you subscribe to Spotify or you have a family plan or something like that. Spotify I cannot live without. I play it every night before I go to bed. I have this thing where I have to have music before I sleep and like during my sleep and stuff. It helps me to relax and it helps me to get a good night's sleep. So that is the one reason I have it, but the other reason is because I just like having music in the background. So that is due around July 8th. It hasn't been paid yet as of recording this, but I do pay £11.99, and that is the lowest plan for my needs. I think it's without ads and what sort of stuff. So £11.99 is what I pay. I haven't actually paid yet, so the actual is zero, and the difference is obviously £11.99. The next subscription is Netflix. I love Netflix. I actually like watching it like of an evening, or like sometimes just when I'm having a really lazy day and I'm not focusing on like my YouTube or my TikTok, or I'm not being productive in any sort of way. I like just to put Netflix on in the background, play a game on my phone, like have all that sort of stuff. Just having it in the background is amazing, and like the sort of shows that are on there, I love them. I usually do switch between Netflix and Disney, like every 6 months, to be able to get the best of both worlds. But at the moment, I'm on a Netflix run, so that is due around July 11th, I believe, and the budget is £4.99. I do the one that's the lowest, that has some ads on it, because I'm just like, I need to save money. So if I can have the lower one, which is like a bit of ads, but you do still get the subscription to Netflix, then I do that. So that's what I do. It hasn't been paid yet, so it is a zero actual, and the difference of £4.99 waiting for it to be paid. The very last subscription I have, which I find is very important, and I think this is something that I will never do without for now, at least, is my Plum monthly fee. Now, Plum is an app on your phone, and I'm not being paid to talk about this, so it is literally just, I do like this app, and it does help me to save money and all that sort of stuff. So Plum monthly fee is the monthly fee to be able to run the Plum account. There is a free version, so you don't actually have to pay the money to be able to have a Plum account. But Plum is basically a banking app. You can basically put money away in little pockets. It's similar to, if you've ever heard of Monzo, anything like that. Revolut, I think, is fairly similar as well. But with Plum, if you want to have a Plum card where you can like spend online and you can spend in store and stuff, and have that as like your budget for spending and still be able to spend rather than having to transfer money across, you have to pay for a monthly fee to basically keep that card running. I know there's other ways of doing it, but I just honestly prefer Plum, and I honestly prefer the other features that Plum does have, like the brain. The brain is basically where it puts money away for you and you don't even notice it half the time. I mean, I do because I'm on a low income, but if you were on a higher income and you had paydays enabled and it was like £100 a month it put away, it would put it away, and it will even split it into your various pockets that you tell it to split to. So actually it's a really good app, and I do actually highly recommend it for anyone who's trying to save almost like automatically without having to physically do it yourself. This is a really good way. So I pay £2.99 per month for this, and it hasn't gone out yet, so the difference is £2.99 and the actual is zero. So now let's move on to my expenses, which is my highest and most bulky category of this financial part of the video. So now moving on to the expenses, you will see that there is a lot of categories, and I'm still trying to fine tune how I actually physically do these categories, and like whether I can combine some or whether I have to like split them up some more or whatever I have to do. So there's a few newer ones down the bottom which were not included in some previous expenses and all that sort of stuff. So as I said, I constantly make changes to this. I constantly up and down the budgets and stuff like that per month. So let's get on to it. So food and groceries is obviously one of the biggest categories, and I budget around £200 for that. This is a lower budget than what I'm used to actually budgeting for, so I am fully aware that I'm probably going to have to reach from other categories and like up that budget maybe to £250, because at the moment the actual is £124.48. That is because I did a very big shop at the beginning of the month, and it was several different shops, and it was like frozen food, and I was like filling up my freezer basically. So £124 is going to last me for pretty much half the month, I would think, if not 3/4 of the month for some of the foods. And so yeah, it's like I've used the majority of my budget already, so that's why I'm saying I'm probably going to have to reach in. So that makes a difference, £75.52, which is the amount remaining if I was to stick to a £200 budget, which I'm hoping to, but I might have to also reach into the next category, which is my shopping plum card. So this is where I talk about my actual budget, which is if I'm going to go shopping in the month and I'm going to spend it online, or I'm going to spend it in various other ways, then I'm going to do my plum card, because that is allowing me to stick to a budget. So as of recording this and as of the screenshot, my budget was 150, but I am expecting to have to put that back down to 100 and put that extra 50 across to my food and groceries. So at the moment it's 150, but it might change at the end of the month. So I will do this all again at the end of the month, and you can see where the budget's changed, and it's going to help me to physically look at my budgets and to inform myself better for like the future. So my actual at the moment for my shopping plum card is 0 because I hadn't spent anything, and then the difference is 150. The next one is shopping in person. Now this is cash that I actually withdraw from the cash machine, and anything that's left of this cash goes into my cash stuffing challenges, and I will explain more about that in other videos and stuff. But cash stuffing is basically allowing me to be able to save money, and allowing me to be able to have a better understanding of money and finances. So that's the basic overview of it. But I do have a second channel which I am going to go into depth about like the cash and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to subscribe to that, I will leave it linked on the card above. But I am budgeting £100 for this. I haven't taken it out yet, so it's 0 and the difference is 100. We're now going to move on to travel, trains and buses. So this one is usually a fairly small category for me, but since I'm now having to be at work more regularly and I've also got some functions that I'm attending this month, I budgeted £40. £8.50 is the actual currently, because I went into London and that was a TfL charge. That £8.50 was literally the tubes throughout London and the buses throughout London. So £8.50 is quite expensive, I think, for just buses and tubes and trains, but it's not, you know, I'm gonna, it's okay. Like obviously you do it on your card and then it charges you whatever. But the difference is now £31.50. That's what's left. I do still need to buy a train ticket for a function at the end of the month, and I do also need to do another train ticket to London, and that will also be another TfL charge of probably about £8.50 as well. So I'm assuming I'm going to get very close to my budget, if not over it, and if I may need to reach into other categories, then that is so be it. But as I said, at the end of the month, we will look into where money was changed and stuff like that. The next category is credit card payments. Now I have got about a £600 limit on my credit card, and at the moment I am currently not really paying it down, but I'm also not spending on it. So my credit card is maxed out at the moment. My goal, once I've sort of got my head around what I'm actually going to need to spend, and getting my head around also like working my small business and trying to make my YouTube work and all that sort of stuff, once I can up my income a little bit, that'll be the first thing to go, and then obviously that will come off my thing. But I have also made a very conscious effort to get myself out of another overdraft. So I used to have 2 different overdrafts and a credit card, and I've got rid of both of the overdrafts. I occasionally go into one of my overdrafts, but that's only for a couple of days, so that's why there is an expense on here for overdraft fees, and it probably is very, very high. But let's move back on to credit card payments. So I budgeted £30 for credit card payments, and that's already gone out, to be fair, and that was £23.07. So I don't think I'm going to make any extra contributions, so I'm probably going to change that down to say 25 and try and keep it as close to the actual as possible. So the difference being £6.93 currently, but I'm probably going to, as I said, move the budget down to 25 to be able to put the £5 elsewhere within my budget. The overdraft fees, as previously mentioned, is for when I do go into my overdraft, and I budget around £30. I never need the £30, so I'm probably going to reduce that. But yeah, I used to need £30 for overdraft, and I now don't, because I have paid off so much of it, and I feel like I'm at a point in my life where, yes, I've paid off a load of money. I had one overdraft that was over £1,500, and I managed to pay off all of that, and only occasionally go into an overdraft, which is now I think sitting at like £500 maximum, and I never go that far into it. But it's just nice to have like an arranged overdraft just in case I do need to go into it. And as I said, I don't go into it very often, but I put £30 for the fees, and at the moment we're currently sitting at 2p, which was 1 day, I think, or 2 days maybe, worth of fees. And so I'm left with £29.98. I am probably going to reduce that to maybe £20 for like the budget, because I really don't think I need to like have that much of a budget for it. The next one is YouTube, including Opus Clip. So this one is for subscriptions within the YouTube realm, and that is because it allows me to then know what expenses I have for YouTube and to be able to like keep an eye on it, I suppose. That's why it's not under my subscriptions, because I want it all in one place where I know that that is all my YouTube like related subscriptions. So I have Opus Clip at the moment, and I also have Epidemic Sound for the music that you sometimes hear in the backgrounds of my videos, and also for the music that's on my intro and my outro. So that is something that I will probably never get rid of. Epidemic Sound is actually one of the best decisions I've ever made for my YouTube channel. So I put £50 as a budget. I'm hoping to not need that much, but we haven't paid anything yet, so it's zero for the actual and the difference of £50. The next category is for YouTube, and it is in brackets supplies, so that's anything that I might need, like an SD card or anything like that. I don't envision needing much this month, so I did put £20, which is about, you know, a couple of SD cards worth. But as I said, I don't think I'm going to need any SD cards. So this will probably be sitting at zero, which is currently sitting at zero, but it will probably be sitting around zero or maybe a tenner maximum. So the difference at the moment is 20, but as I said, I don't think I'm going to need 20, so that's what we're sitting at now, but hopefully I won't need that. So the next category that I have is for small business expenses, and I budgeted £35. I've currently spent £9.30, and the difference is £25.70. So for this is very much my small business for my Etsy store. So I will leave like a link in the description box down below for my Etsy store, but it is Budget with Deeanna, and this store basically sells cash stuffing supplies, which is something that's really helped me to save money. So I thought, why not give back to people and use my designing skills to make challenges. So at the moment there's not many on there, but there is definitely more coming. I have got one that I need to take photos of today, so you know, by the time you're watching this, hopefully that is all going to be up on my Etsy. But I find that like I also price them fairly low compared to like my competitors, because I haven't got many sales. I've only had 3 sales, like three people buy things from me. So if you would like to purchase anything and you're in the cash stuffing realm, then please feel free to go and check my store out. At least you don't have to buy anything, but if you check my store out, then that'll just help me to get pushed out to more people, and it would help me to get some sales from other people if you're not able to buy anything or you don't want to buy anything. Give me some feedback on the bottom of this video. Like, let me know in the comment section like what sort of ideas for cash stuffing challenges that maybe you think would be good, or let me know what you think of my current cash stuffing challenges, and let me know what you think I need to do differently or what's doing well or something like that, because I love feedback. Constructive criticism is something that I love and I love to receive. But let's move on to the next one. So the next category I have is my Holidays International. I did briefly mention this at the beginning of this video, but I am planning to go away in the summer of next year. And so I'm going to be putting away £200 towards the flights, which I plan to book on Travel Tuesday. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to be at a decent price and I will be able to like logistically be like, that's fine. I've already got about £250 saved up, so this £200 is going to make it £450, which with my pay at the end of this month, I'm hoping to put a little bit more away maybe, and be able to basically book the flights at the beginning of December when it is Travel Tuesday. If any of you are wanting to go away next year or even the year after, I recommend looking at Travel Tuesday. I believe it is the Tuesday after Black Friday, so you've got Black Friday, you've got Cyber Monday, which is like all the rest of them, and then Travel Tuesday is usually the best day to book flights for like the rest of whenever you want to fly. So I'm going to be booking my main flight at least, which is the big flight that would get me there, and then if I do anything else, if I go from that country and I go anywhere else in the country, or I go to a short hop one, then I'll probably book that nearer the time, but I want to get my main one over and done with. So I budgeted £200. I haven't put it away yet, so the actual is 0 and my difference is 200. The next category is entertainment/gaming. So I usually put about £10 to this, but because I'm putting money away towards my Holidays International, I was like, right, I'll take that £10/20 and I'll put it like I'll take it to 0. So the budget is 0, the actual is 0, and the difference is 0. So the reason that I'm not having anything in the entertainment gaming space is simply because I was putting money towards the Holidays International, and there is a few other categories that I have actually lowered to be able to put money towards the Holidays International, and I will explain that and tell you that when I actually come to it. So the next one is the miscellaneous cash withdrawn. So this is another one that is £100 that is dedicated towards cash stuffing challenges, and this may not be able to be £100 at the end of the month. I may end up only having to get out 50 because of the Holidays International, but also because I think food and groceries is going to need more money and all that sort of stuff. So at the moment it's sitting at £100. I haven't taken any money out, so it is 0 and the difference is 100. I have a funny feeling that when I do like the next month's reset, like December reset, I can fully see that all of these categories are going to have changed, or like a lot of them are going to have changed in amounts and all that sort of stuff. So stay tuned. Like, watch this space. The next category is gifts, which obviously with Christmas coming up at the moment, I put £50 towards it. I have already started my shopping, and I have already got a decent amount of things either on order or have already arrived or I've already got. And I started shopping in like end of September, so I was fully prepared. So £50 at the moment is actually okay. I do also have a Christmas pocket within my Plum account, so I do actually have money already saved up for that. So that is actually £50 is going to be okay. Probably in December this will go up, but £50 is the budget. The actual at the moment is 0 and the difference is 50. The next category that we're going to be going on to is household and cleaning. So usually I would have about £10 to £20, sometimes 15 in this category, but for this month I'm having 0, and that is because I have enough of the stuff in my cleaning cupboard. I'm going to try and use that, get that down, so I don't have to like basically keep buying stuff I already have. I want to be able to like declutter the cleaning cupboard, and the only way I'm gonna be able to do it, is by actually using the stuff. So I don't envision having to use any budget towards household or cleaning, because I do have like pretty much anything and everything I could want in terms of that. So yeah, I'm hoping to not have to spend anything, so it's 000. The next one is personal self-care. This is a very low budget for me. I usually put about £25 to £30 in this category, but again, I was taking some money out to be able to put into Holidays International, thinking for my future self and thinking for what my future self wants in my life, basically. So for personal and self-care, we're currently sitting at £10. This is going to be if I need a new mascara, or if I need a face mask. I've got loads of face masks, but like if I needed anything in particular that was a skincare, a self-care, anything like that, £10 is my budget for this month. I'm hoping to not even spend that, because I do have a lot of skincare and self-care. If my best friend's watching this, she knows exactly what I mean, because I have way too much of it and I need to try and use what I've got, because I don't know, I have a obsession with apparently collecting cute stuff, and when skincare and self-care is in a cute or like really nice packaging, it may be exactly the same as what I've got, but I'll get it anyway, and I don't know why, but that just happens. The next category is for home improvements. I did spend a bit of money on this last month because my best friend was coming to mine to kind of like, I bought a new bed frame, for example, all that sort of stuff, and I was knowing that I was going to have to get like some paint, and I was going to have to get some sanding stuff, and we haven't finished doing it, by the way. There is going to be a video coming about my bedroom renovation and like basically resorting the whole of my bedroom, making it look a lot better. It is currently in like the middle of that process, and yeah, so I had to get a lot of stuff for that. Some of the stuff hasn't been used yet. I don't envision having to spend any extra money on that this month. Next month I will probably have to budget a bit of money towards that, because there's a few other bits that my best friend still needs to go and get, which I might go and get them with her just to be able to get some footage for the actual video. But yeah, I'm basically gonna have to like put some money towards that next month, but this month we're not gonna do anything because she's not coming down to see me again until next month, so there's no point putting money towards it. So it is 000. Same with the next category, which is protein and vitamins. I did recently do an order at the end of last month, or during last month at some point in October, so I don't need anything for my protein or vitamins. So budget is 0, the actual is 0, and the difference is 0. The next category is Vinted buying. I do try and limit myself on this. Last month, I think I spent around £20 with Vinted, and I did earn more than that. Like, I was selling stuff on that, and I was withdrawing it, and then I was then spending again, because the reason I was doing that was because then I could actually keep an eye on like what I was spending and stuff. Otherwise I get into the realm of selling something and then using that money for literally for all of it, you know. I was like using all the money I'd earned on selling my own stuff, and I wanted to keep myself accountable with the amount of money I was putting towards actually buying other people's stuff, you know, because I'm trying to declutter. So I wanted to only get 1 or 2 items, and that's what I did last month. I got 1 or 2 items and that was it. And I think one of them was an organizational item anyway, so that kind of to me was a needed item, a necessity item in a way. So this month I am budgeting £10, and my actual is 0 because I've not spent anything yet, and my difference is 10. The last two categories are newer categories, and that was because the next category is ClearPay. I was not using ClearPay as a separate category, and I think I needed it to be a separate category because I use ClearPay because, as a load of you will probably know, you're then allowed to pay some money every 2 weeks. I get paid several times throughout the month, so that is ideal for me. I did used to use Klarna, and I kind of let myself get very overwhelmed with Klarna, and I did let myself go too deep into like the unregulated credit, and it was really difficult. So when I was then told by Klarna that I wasn't going to be approved for a new card, I was like, okay, I'll take it as a sign. I paid everything off, and then I went to ClearPay when I was really desperate, and I'm trying to keep that under £500 total. At the moment, I think it's like 300, maybe 250, I can't remember, but that's obviously over the next 2 months. I'm trying to keep it fairly low because I don't want to be in loads of debt. And so I've budgeted £200 to pay off some of the payments that need to be paid, and I've currently paid £101.61. As I said, I'm trying to get off of it. I'm trying to get to the point where like I'm spending money that I actually only just have. But I don't know what it is. It's in your brain, and it's in my brain definitely, that if I can spend things, if I can get a whole load of orders, if I can get like an order or whatever, and I only have to pay ClearPay like £14 now, and £14 in 2 weeks, and £14 in 3 weeks, or for, you know, basically in the installments, it makes it seem so much cheaper. And I know that's how they get you, but with Christmas coming up, a lot of the Christmas things was on ClearPay, so that's kind of what's going to happen. I want to try and get myself off of ClearPay by sort of about Easter next year, try and get it completely zeroed and then the app deleted from my phone, because I think that is only holding me back financially. But that's what we've currently got. So as I said, the actual is £101.61, and the difference is £98.39. The last category, again, is a new category. I wasn't really eating out, and with this being the new category called eating out, I wasn't really eating out, and that was because I wasn't really socialising. And I've now started socialising again, and I don't know why I stopped. I just haven't, been doing anything. But anyway, so eating out, the budget's £100. I was not thinking I was going to need £100 for that, but the actual ended up being 46 for one day out, and it is very expensive. So I think next time I go and eat out and socialise, I will be ordering a bit more of a budget meal, and I'll be talking to the people that I'm with and being like, come on, let's go somewhere that's a bit cheaper, all that sort of stuff, because yeah, it's quite expensive for one day to spend £46 on food. That was a lot, even though one of them was Nando's, and I then used the extra food and I took it home, and I actually then used that food for like the next day. It just it still seems a lot to be spending £46 on food, but yeah. So the difference is £54, and that is the end of my expenses. If you've got any suggestions for any categories, for anything that might be useful for me to have, or for any like reorganization of these categories, I'm always looking for like constructive criticism and suggestions. So please feel free to comment them. I definitely am open to suggestions. Like my best friend suggests things all the time. Like other friends, they suggest things when they see my videos, and they're like, oh, well, maybe you could do this, or maybe you could do that. And I love it when I get comments from my audience. Honestly, I try and respond as quick as possible. Sometimes because I am working 2 different jobs, like I am working my employed job and I am doing my YouTube, sometimes YouTube does get put on the back burner for a little bit. So if you don't get a response straight away, then don't feel like I'm ignoring you. I definitely am not. Sometimes I feel like I need to respond and it needs a bit more time to be like a decent response, rather than just you're welcome, or something like yes, or thank you, or something like that. If it's something like that, you're probably going to get a response very quickly. But if it's a longer comment that I feel I need to respond in a longer format, sometimes it can take a few days or even a couple of weeks to respond. And that is not because I'm ignoring you or anything like that. That is literally because I am so exhausted from working for somebody else, and obviously ideally I don't want to be. So eventually, yes, I want to make YouTube my full-time job. So please don't, if you made it this far, then you've obviously enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and to like this video so that basically YouTube can be like, yay, people like this video and people are going to watch more of my content, because I'm suffering and I really need more watch time hours. So if you've got this far in the video and you've got some time to support me, then I would really appreciate just clicking on any of my videos, having them in the background and just letting them play through, because that would actually really help me as a content creator. And yeah, but if you don't do any of that, that's absolutely fine, because I love my audience either way. But as I say at the end of every one of my videos, thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget that I believe in you even if nobody else does, and I shall see you in my next one. Bye.
Just like you're young again, no, don't you cry. Just get back up again.